From the slight swagger in his walk to the tightly hunched shoulders, Danny was a contradiction in locomotion. At 9th grade, he had a 2nd grade reading level, chicken scratch for handwriting, and a chip on his shoulder. He was pretty sure he didn't have the need to learn anything I had to teach. Of course, I had heard it all before, and I could hear the echo of an entire generation of teachers. You know the ones. You recognize the cadence, the anger, the bitterness, the blame. You pray they're not in your building. You don't know my students, the voice reminds you. They can't learn. They won't learn. They have to learn to spell before they can write a sentence. Do you know how much I have to pack into a semester? And I'm supposed to teach literary analysis? Danny couldn't spell, but he did like freedom, and choice, and time to write, and fishing, and finally, Nazi zombies. In fact, he wrote an entire story about them, and after peer conferences and a teacher's conference and plenty of revisions, he was the proud author of Nazi Zombies, a story where everyone dies. And probably wouldn't get picked up by Harper's Magazine. Another teacher might swoon. But Danny was writing. It was only on installation 3 of the Nazi zombie saga that I realized he had entitled the 3 pages of gore and mayhem Chapter 2. "But miss," he said in response to my question, "there's no plot in the first one. Everyone dies, but nothing happens. So I started over, and this one's Chapter 2 now." His answer bloomed luminous, marking a point of no return in my teaching. This birth of verdant, unfurling seedling eased into existence. No question, no controversy, no struggle. There was but a small leap to the effects of new technologies. "So, Danny, do you want to try a digital story this time?" The steep learning curve plus limited access to technology were mere minnows in our learning stream. Danny wasn't satisfied with his original fishing story. There were changes to be made, revisions, word choice decisions. The pictures had to be just right, some of which were saved to a cell phone he couldn't have at school. We negotiated these sandbars and rock outcroppings together, he in the boat, I on the shore, watching, encouraging, calling out advice when needed. Not once did I take the oar out of his hands or take ownership of his boat. He was the captain, the sailor, the negotiator of waves. I merely paced the sand. As a teacher, I also have to draw a line in that sand. There are priorities I cannot dismiss. How do I motivate my students? How do I ensure that their cognitive work is full of complexity and original thought and critical thinking? How do I know that the composing process has been honored? When looking at the interactive effects between pedagogy and digital writing environments on student motivation and cognitive performance, I think of Danny. I know there's more work to be done, further research needed, careful webs to be woven between teaching methods and new technologies and nurturing environments, but I also know there's a watermarked map, stars to steer by, and a list of those who have gone before. There's more work to be done. This is certain. Danny left my class a writer. I only hope his next teacher recognizes his title.